welcome back to our final breakfast with the beards, fellas. It's been a wild ride. Good
But we're
morning.
not. We're clearly not at the Arches.
We're not. Corey, where are we?
We're in the RV.
Yeah.
This is actually the most majestic thing out there, though. Let's just
Well,
be
I mean,
honest.
it is what it is. So we figured this out, folks. We were coming in last night, and the plan was for us to hike in, a nice little hike into the. We're going to go to Delicate Arch, one of the more striking symbols of beauty for the state of Utah, and we got to the Moab KOA, and we asked the driver or the attendant at the front of the campground, said, "Hey, what's the best place to park once we get in the park?" And he said, "Oh, well, how long is your RV?" And I said, "It's 40 feet." And he goes, "Well, that's going to be a problem. They only allow 26-foot length vehicles in the park, and as it turns out, 40 is greater than 26. So we were unable to enter
Yeah.
Arches National Park. So thankfully, we had some stock footage. You were able to see the beauty of what we had intended to see this morning. Instead, it's more of the RV.
I'm glad we drove all this way for the beautiful stock footage and.
It is.
And
Now,
the-
don't.
Yeah, we did see some beautiful sights yesterday as we drove from Grand Junction, Colorado to Moab. So let's not discount everything. It was a beautiful drive. Corey, what was your favorite part of the drive?
I mean, the scenery coming in on the Colorado River there. I think it's the Colorado. There was a number of just sights along the way on this weird, like, Highway 128 that was a detour because there was a bunch of traffic, and that detour turned out to be the most, like, one of the most visually stunning drives I have ever been on in my life. Just red sandstone cliffs and, these monument rocks that have withstood crazy amounts of time and erosion. It was absolutely stunning.
All right, so since this is our last breakfast with the beers, I'm kind of sad saying last breakfast with the
It's
beers.
a little bit hurtful.
Maybe it won't be. Who knows? But let's just look at some of the numbers from our trip so far. So, for the official road trip, starting in Massachusetts, we've been in 16 states. Now,
Do you want me to go close that blind so you're not being blind?
No, I'm
It
good.
looks terrible.
Now let's just work through it. Kyle.
Yeah.
Corey's gonna go change the blinds. Remember,
Bye, Corey.
This is a live show. This is a live show, so things happen, like arches and sun. So Kyle.
Yep.
16 states.
Yeah.
On our trip, Corey actually had to traverse 21 states.
Yeah.
Because obviously we had to get the RV from Oklahoma to Alabama, and then from Alabama to Massachusetts, because for some reason we don't plan well with where we're going to start the trip.
Logistics is not our strong suit. No.
But the 16 states, 21 for Corey, that took us over 5,500 miles of driving.
Phew.
So let's take a second there. 5,500 miles of driving. Most of that, about almost 4,000 of that, taking place over the last 14 days. And Corey, a clap to you for all the great driving and getting us to our last leg of the journey in one piece. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah. Thanks,
Absolutely. And the journey for me is not actually over, as it turns out. Once we get to Vegas, we clearly have to get it onto the showroom floor, which is going to be super fun. But after the conference is complete, I get to drive to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So it's going to be well north of 6,000 miles. And if you think about that, this thing gets about 6 miles to the gallon. So 6,000 miles. How many gallons of gas is that?
That math isn't my strong suit either.
I think it's
So
1,000 gallons.
it's a lot.
And that's a lot of gas.
So
Yeah.
what we've learned today is that you can subtract and divide, Corey. So
That's true.
good job.
Impressive math.
You have some weird math flexes, but that's okay. But I'm a little upset that you didn't invite us along for that leg of the trip. It's not lost on us that you didn't do that. So it's
Well,
okay.
that's true, but I have a much better co-pilot because candidly, you guys have been great co-pilots. But I have a much prettier one. No offense to your beauty. And my
It's
wife
fine.
is going to join me, and I'm pretty excited about it.
So we've also had 20 guests on the show. We've produced 23 recorded or live pieces of content.
Wow.
And I think my favorite stat is we've had at least 22 pounds of tube meat. Corey, care to comment?
Ugh.
Well, I feel like this is well, it is a problem. It is becoming a problem. I like sausage. It's a delightfully easy way to consume your proteins with a flavor of each territory in which you visit. Because
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
This is a live stream.
Your Ultimate Gears app.
So
they're always listening.
and again, this is just by the numbers. We're just telling the audience the pure stats of what it took to get us here. But Kyle, I would like to get your thoughts. If you had to do this all over again, what's
No.
the one thing you would?
Starting there. That's a hard
If you
no.
had to do this all over again, what would be the one thing you would do differently?
Ooh, I think I would spread out the travel a bit because what you didn't see on the air was very much as soon as this finishes, the RV gets closed up and we're on the road. So it's a pretty tough schedule, and we're editing content while going down a bumpy road. So it's hard to multitask there. So yeah, I would say stretching the days out just to let us be able to spend a bit more time at each location.
What about you, Corey?
I'd hire a driver. I'll be honest. Like driving this thing is really it's pretty fun. It's nerve wracking because it's a lot of stress to have a vehicle that's 40 feet long, I think it's 9 feet wide when it's on the road, and then it's almost 12 feet tall. So you're just constantly worried about one, I'm huge and I'm taking up a lot of space on the road. It's not like driving a car because there's constant motion in the steering wheel. So like when I go to bed at night, like my shoulders, you can feel that like I've been working driving the rig. So I think having a driver would be cool. I also think it'd be neat to have a driver because I was really jealous a lot of the times when you guys were, you were able to be in the back being productive, getting stuff done, and I was literally just a driver at that point. So I was a little bit, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun. I know it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have driven, but having a driver would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So along those lines, mine would be to remove the horn if Corey was to drive again.
The horn?
Ooh, yeah, that
Why?
was
The horn was delightful. It was cathartic. Whenever I'd get, I'd be stressed out in traffic, it'd just give a nice little wah,
Little howdy
wah.
horn.
That is one thing that we missed the opportunity to Splunk. The amount of times Corey pushed the horn and the length of each horn press.
So that
But
would've been a good one.
now we know for next time.
So
No
so,
next time.
So this
Next time.
this is supposed to be a retrospective. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and almost in like a rapid fire scenario.
Ooh, I like
Ooh.
it. Rapid
Just
fire.
give me the first thing that comes to your head. So Corey,
M&M's. Oh, sorry.
Ooh.
you didn't get any, did you, last
No,
night?
I didn't.
All right. So what was your favorite city on the journey?
Favorite city on the journey? I think Reston, Virginia was pretty awesome.
Mhm.
I think that downtown scene where we had like the fountains and we had an incredible reception from Red River. I thought that was really awesome. Like it was the fact that like they had security guards, like multiple of them, like watching to make sure that our spot was safe, and just the warm reception from both the Red River team, but also the Splunk and Dell Technologies team there.
What about you, Kyle?
I'm gonna go with Arrow in Denver. Yeah, just the sights were beautiful. The people were wonderful. We had people there waiting for us, ready to go. Brett brought us donuts, pizza. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So thank.
And shout out to Brett, not me, the other Brett, for
Yeah.
jumping in and recording Breakfast with the Beard just 20 minutes
Yeah.
notice. So thanks a lot, Brett. You did a great job.
Yeah, there's a quick last minute change, and Brett came through and really swung it out of the park. Yeah.
So my favorite city was actually Austin, and that might have been because we spent 2 days there. So Kyle, to your point about spreading out the trip a little bit, it wasn't a complete record, pack, drive, camp type scenario.
Right.
We had some great guests.
Incredible.
Very cool guests. Just hearing what Dell's doing from a digital transformation standpoint, what they're doing with Splunk and the SRE team, to just learning about AI and whiskey, which is always a fun thing to talk about. And my favorite though was the customer solution centers with Chris and Rob, and just hearing the cool things that they're tinkering with. As you know, we do like to tinker and to play with cool technology, and they get to live that every day. So that's my favorite.
Yeah, they definitely have the dream job, right?
Yeah.
And 50 racks of gear in the Austin Solution Center alone. Just getting to play and prove out
Every
concepts.
single piece of cool tech, like
Mhm.
anything that they want to try, like there's people who want to try it too. Customers are interested in it. You just go in there and boom, they'll set it up.
Yeah.
It's really, I think it's one of the most underutilized things in any tech company is that POC capability. I think done well, it is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
All right. So next question. We had 23 interviews throughout the journey. We talked to a lot of people. Kyle,
Yeah.
what was your biggest takeaway from the conversations along the journey?
I think just the many different use cases for Splunk. We're seeing Splunk used in so many different areas by so many different people. So that, but then also the many different skill sets that there are within Splunk. Some people are really good at SPL. Some people are really good at architecting it. So just seeing the vast differences for one single platform for your data was really the key takeaway. I guess being able to use it in so many different lenses.
I like it. Corey?
I think the thing that I heard consistently, thematically, through all of the conversations was technology is awesome, incredible enabler, but if you aren't connecting a technology initiative to a meaningful business outcome, it just, or whatever the business is, right? Whether it's saving lives in healthcare context, it's improving battlefield readiness for soldiers, or it's a business of saving money or making money. Connecting that technology initiative to a business use case is just pervasive. I know, and maybe it's passé, but I think that oftentimes, technologists and technology companies get super focused on what it is their tech does, and they forget that it has to be useful. And I think hearing from a lot of even like from Jen Felch, our Chief Digital Officer at Dell, to Andy Mann yesterday, Chief Technology Officer for Splunk, it was just so pervasive in every conversation I heard. Like when you heard success, you heard that it was somebody took a technology, but that technology followed the business case to power a change.
Yeah, and then also hearing people, process, and technology, and even culture multiple times on the trip. It's been a while since we've heard that. I think mine was just reinforcing how awesome and fun and vibrant the Splunk community is, whether it's people contributing on answers or writing apps and add-ons to Splunk base, or just willing to lend a hand to help with SPL or some other type of Splunk issues. It's such a great and powerful community, and it just reinforces why we're passionate about Splunk as well. So, if you had to do, if you actually switch that, we are live. If you had to sustain, or next time we do this, because we are going to do something similar again, probably. If we had to do one thing the same, what would you do?
Oh man, one thing the same.
We're the three best friends that anyone can have.
Yeah.
That's a hint there, buddy.
I would do it with you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Do it the same. I think we had a good amount with 2 weeks. I think the time range was good. Obviously, this is a trip where if you aren't good friends with who you're going to be locked in an RV with for 2 weeks, you will be by the end of it, or you will absolutely not be friends. So yeah, being able to work together with you guys has been absolutely wonderful, because we've done that for so long now that we're able to pick up where we needed to make things happen. So for now, I'd say that. Yeah.
Good save.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Give you the softball. I think mine would be I really like the fact that we had a blend of we tinkered with some technology as part of the road trip, but that we also made it about the people we'd meet along the way. And I feel like I liked the balance of that we had things to do to showcase what we're doing, and to have a place to play with Dell Gateway technology and edge computing devices and Splunk software, and start to tie it all together. I would very much do that mix of, we need to have a technical outlet to tinker, right? Tinker time. Beautiful intro song, by the way, Brent. The pipes. But also the balance of content, where we're talking with just really just awesome, amazing, talented, smart folks that just teach us so much along the way. I think that balance, to me, is the thing I would try to hold on to.
So mine is bring the Nerf guns again. So if you didn't know, we do have a few Nerf guns lying around the RV, and after a busy day of driving, recording, and creating content, we like to offload a little bit by shooting each other safely with Nerf guns.
In the face.
With glasses on.
That's right. We do have to wear glasses.
We're
legitimately, if you come into the RV at Splunk Conf and you're walking around and you look in the cracks and crevices of the inside of the RV, there's a better than 90% chance you will find a little yellow Nerf ball.
And
I just found one.
I can see 6 in my line of sight. Right
It's like an Easter egg hunt.
Well, that's what we're going to do. So if you come to Conf and you're in the IoT RV and you find a yellow ball and hand it to Corey, Kyle, or myself, you will get a free T-shirt courtesy of Big Data. help us clean up all the
Terrible
all the balls.
promotion.
How many people are showing up with their
They're
own
gonna be
balls?
like
Like,
a parent tearing the thing apart. They're not.
All right, so
I'll
let's
give you a
move,
T-shirt if you just show up. It's
let's
fine.
move on. Corey, what was your favorite campground location?
I'll be honest. I think I'm going to take Moab. This place has, one, incredible views. Two, it is the only campground that, for me as the driver, where they actually sent us with an escort to make sure that we safely got to our spot and that we kind of, knew where to go, where the turns were. It was super nice. And probably the number one indicator of quality here is bathroom cleanliness. I felt like we're some really nice, private, very clean bathroom situations. So I'm going Moab, Utah.
yeah.
So before you get into your favorite campground, what goes into being the top bathroom? Like what factors into that?
I mean, cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
I like hard surfaces, not curtains.
Okay.
So like if you've got like a curtain situation in a bathroom at a campground, I'm like, that's just gross.
It's just weird.
Like I feel like you can hit this hard surface with some like bleach and get it clean. The soft surfaces, I'm like, ugh.
Dampness.
Yeah, dampness in the bath, like in the room. Like if you just walk in and it just feels damp, you're like, this is poorly ventilated. That probably means there's mold, which is not healthy for your insides.
Graded floors in the changing area. Sorry, not to do that one. I just, I noticed that one this morning. It's like, oh, that's nice.
The little elevated things on the floor, so you're not standing on like, which we're wearing shower shoes, but it just feels better to be on like not standing in water.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that probably.
Okay.
Oh, and then probably the balance of, like the balance of toilets to shower ratio, not having that imbalance. Because if you got like two toilets and like 6 showers, it's kind of like, well, why didn't you take up some space for the other? There's a balance needed. People use them together usually.
So we have talked about this at length as we've been driving across the country. So I'm glad that we can finally share it with everyone. Kyle, what has been your favorite campground?
I'm going to say Terrell, Texas, the Dallas one, where we were so far out, just out in the middle of nowhere, had a wonderful sunset. Everything was paved, so we were able to scoot around. And then they also had a bit of a tiny home community around the corner, so we were able to scoot.
Yeah, I'd never seen that.
3
many
miles,
tiny
probably?
homes in there, like in one place.
Yeah.
It was a menagerie of tiny homes.
And they also did the Hilton, what's that, Doubletree style, where they give us cookies on arrival.
Yeah, they did.
And they were delicious.
That's
So,
nice.
yeah.
So least favorite campground then?
Shady River Campground in Austin, Texas.
Oh, man, you took it.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to it. Dude, it was questionable. Everything about it was questionable. The people that we met there were questionable.
I think we have.
I think I had the most fun there, though.
It was so bad. That was one of those where, so the history on how that happened, just for everybody else, RV parks are, they range. They can range from this one in Texas, which I'll call the low end, which is, they're rough. It's usually people who are living in the trailers and not because they chose to, and it's not like a retirement. It's usually kind of low income thing. And so the park doesn't have a lot of amenities. Like the bathrooms were absolutely atrocious. Like we didn't even step foot in them. We were afraid of them. To like, you have these really nice campgrounds, which is like, and they have rules. Like in one of the ones we wanted to stay at in Austin has a rule that the RV can't be older than 10 years old. Like, which is crazy because these things, the amount of money you have to spend on one, you'd think the useful life is well more than 10 years, but in order to maintain like the class of their park, they only want young RVs in this park. And so we didn't qualify for the nice park in Austin. And so we had to try to find a place in and around Round Rock, and this was the only place that seemed like they had spots open. So that's where we defaulted to. So
We did get an escort there, though. Like the escort to
you're right.
But the tricky part for that one was that it was on a hill as well, so we had some balancing
there was,
issues. It was
is that
tricky.
The only one we had to back into?
Yeah.
I think it was the only one we had to back into. It didn't have a pull through, and if you've ever been in an RV, these things, it's like a bus, so backing it into something kind of stinks. It was not great.
It was tricky.
Less than ideal.
So
Yeah.
Kyle, what's yours?
Oh man, I think the
Enough
first.
time to think about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the first stop that we had with me, which was Charlotte, Washington.
DC.
Yeah,
Bull Run.
yeah. Just because we were last minute, we ran in. We were kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So it was a bit
Yeah.
bumpy, a bit weird, didn't
was-
fully understand it. Also didn't have, took a really cold shower that day because I showered in the RV
Oh yeah.
because I didn't have shower shoes yet.
Mhm.
So didn't realize that you had to turn on the water heater. So took a real cold shower and woke up early that morning. So yeah, I'd say that
can
one.
see that.
At
Yeah,
no
it was-
fault to the campground itself. It was more just
more situational.
yeah.
That was mine as
Somebody
well.
promised to bring shower shoes and failed.
That was
Yeah.
me. I failed.
They actually didn't have bathrooms at that one. It was just a campground or a park. And
Yeah.
pretty much our lot was on the side of the road, so we got in at 2 in the morning. We had to get up at 5. And for the first night ever, all three of us had to use the restrooms and the shower. So yeah, that was my least favorite as well. All right. Sticking with this theme here, what is your favorite and least favorite meal on the trip? Kyle, you go first.
I'm going to get hit for saying this.
Okay, good.
Sausages.
That's your favorite? I agree. That's pretty good. I'm glad you-
I think the most impressive meal we had so far was the breakfast at Arrow in their cafeteria, the breakfast biscuits.
Oh, that was an epic.
Those
We
hit
did this
clutch, yeah. The worst one, man,
I think it's
the tornadoes.
Oh,
The tornadoes.
you're wrong. They were great.
Oh,
I
they were
enjoyed
disgusting.
them.
Those were mine.
All
Yeah.
right, Corey, what about you?
I'm going best meal because I am a native Texan. I have to give a shout out to the Salt Lake barbecue. We did get some good Texas barbecue, and this may be controversial, but dude, Texas barbecue way better than dry rub Memphis ribs. Like we went to Rendezvous, great ribs, and I didn't stand a chance next to a beef rib in Texas. So that's the best. Worst was I'm gonna say it's the night we didn't want to get the grill out, and so we convection oven cooked some kielbasa's. they were very
Yeah,
underwhelming.
that's up there.
And it was just the texture was wrong. There was something very, very off.
So I think my favorite meal was
Please say pizza rolls. Please say pizza rolls. Please say pizza rolls.
my favorite meal.
Peanut butter
Corey,
M&Ms, Corey.
My time, Corey. Was probably anything but tube meat was tied, and then my least favorite was the gas station in New Jersey where we ate probably our first meal in the RV, and it was just horrible.
So bad.
Oh,
Jersey,
yeah.
Jersey Turnpike food, not good at all.
Yeah,
So,
you'd think
yeah.
I got a Nathan's Famous hot dog there, and it was so dry. Like it was like
They were the last two on the roller.
No, but even the
All right,
bread was
so
bad.
at what moment, or did you have a moment where you thought this trip would never end, and you just like, man, I need to get off this RV?
I never did. I just love you guys so much, and we're such good friends, and I enjoyed every. No. No, it went so quick that I don't think we had an opportunity to be like, oh, this is taking forever. That was for me, yeah.
I mean, driving has taken a toll on a brother. Like it's a lot. It's like a lot to deal with.
You
man.
just look tired, man.
Yeah, and the fact that I'm staring. Like yesterday was an easy day, right? It was a 2-hour drive from Grand Junction to Moab, but I'm not kidding. And maybe it was because the roads were so curvy and it was kind of a situation, but I could not get out of the driver's seat fast enough. Like I was just so beat, and it was only 2 hours, and now we're staring down the face of as soon as this is done, we've got 7.5, 8 hours worth of driving to do. Today I'm going to legitimately when we get to Vegas and I recognize that I'm going to have a break in driving for a while, it's going to be glorious.
Yeah, I didn't think about today's going to be definitely.
gonna
Well, and we're excited to get to Vegas and get to a hotel, unpack a bit, and get ready for conf. So yeah.
But we'll make it. We'll survive.
Yeah.
All right,
We got Red Bull.
Hey, live tweet us some songs.
Yeah, keep us dancing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so to wrap this up, what has been your favorite moment on the trip, Kyle?
So I had a pretty hard travel day So my travel day started in Sydney, 16-hour flight to DFW. Was supposed to be an hour and a half layover, so real quick, packed super light for this trip to make that quick connection to get into Boston, to see you guys. We can have dinner, get ready. And then the flight just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And a 2:30 flight ended up leaving, I think, at 8:30 out of DFW. So I ended up getting into Boston at 12:30 a.m. So what became a 33-hour travel day. So I think finally just getting to Boston, getting in a cab, getting out there, and finally realizing that at least gotten to the start of this thing for me, I think was like the
So your favorite moment was before the trip even started.
Yeah, well, there was such a stress about
Thank
making
you.
sure that I got here that was the moment of like, finally I can feel this burden off of me, like we're ready to get the trip started. So I think that excitement there.
Well, I think one of my favorite things about this trip has actually been watching you two. I've had the chance to sit and produce a bunch of the shows that y'all have seen, and it's been really fun to see the two of you guys like doing the shows and having my favorite single moment of the entire trip has to be when Brett went full Jimmy Fallon on Saturday Night Live and could not keep it together, talking about the digital clog and the connection between our challenges and digital pipes with plumbing pipes, and just full red-faced, could not, like, laughing before the joke even got out. I was dying. I was so happy, and it was simultaneously. It was also like we had just had that delicious breakfast sandwich. I was looking past you guys. There was mountains behind you in Denver. Like, it was epically just awesome. Like, that to me summed up like our entire trip in like one little minute, which was, we're doing something super cool. We're talking to somebody interesting. We're having a lot of fun doing it, like, and we're getting to see unbelievable places. Like, the amount of memories I have behind the wheel and behind the screen of working with you guys, it's been phenomenal. So I say, seeing you two in your prime doing your thing it's been awesome.
Now that
Just a little update though on the digital clog that we have, and I promise I'm not going to laugh this time.
I'm going to.
We are seeing a little bit come through. We got a few events that came through the clog yesterday. Still don't know really what's going on. So if you've experienced before, where
Do we want to tell the clogger story?
it's like where your heavy forwarder is not pushing, let us know. Clogger story. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to tell the? So
I don't.
Okay, you don't want to tell it.
You can.
Well, so remember we talked about that RV park that was less than ideal in Texas. So Brett and Kyle were out back. We're out there setting up the hoses for all of the tank dumpings at the RV park.
Which is just the best part of the trip.
Well, it is. I mean,
every time
That
it's
actually is my
just
favorite
it's
moment. That is my favorite moment. Not gagging as we empty the tanks.
So like we have these like neon green gloves that we put on to protect ourselves from the sewage. And,
we look like goons doing it. We don't know what we're doing.
It's
If
awful.
anyone is eating breakfast right now, I recommend putting down.
Oh yeah, that's true. This isn't a good break. At any rate, this lady comes over. She's watching us set up all this stuff, and she's a neighbor. And as we're walking away, she says, "You boys getting good at dealing with cloggers?" I was like, "No, what? No, we're amateurs." No, mm-mm. And then she says, "That's too bad. I got one working." Oh, okay. And immediately we ran inside and hid because I was so afraid that she would be asking us for help with whatever she meant.
Yeah, I didn't want to know any more about
that. Find out what she had in mind.
Well, on that note, this is the end of Breakfast with the Beards. It's been a great journey. We've had a lot of fun. As you can tell, we've had a lot of cool, interesting, unique experiences. Some good, some bad.
That's right.
We've learned a lot along the way. We've got to tinker with a lot of cool technology, meet a lot of cool people along the way. And the fun's not over yet. This RV is going to be in the showroom floor at Conf. So starting Monday with the soiree, you're going to see this RV in all its glory and majesty. But we ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out the content that we've created. We've put a lot of work into this, and we've had a lot of great conversations, and we think it'll be beneficial to you. And thank you all for your support and all of our partners. So Dell Technologies, VMware, Aero Electronics, Red River, and Converging Data. Thank you for your support, because without you, this wouldn't have been possible. Thanks, everyone.
See you in Vegas.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of Breakfast with the Beards. Breakfast with the Beards is part of the Big Data Beard road trip to Splunk's Conf 2019. Be sure to check out all of our great content at bigdatabeard.com, and also follow our podcast in your favorite podcast app simply by searching Big Data Beard. This amazing adventure would not be possible without our incredible sponsors. We thank you, Dell Technologies, VMware, Red River Technologies, Aero Electronics, and Converging Data for making the road trip to Splunk.conf 2019 possible. We'll see you down the road.